Hi students, how are you? So we have completed our first lesson and today we can begin our second lesson. And what is the second lesson? Microorganisms, friend and foe. So our second lesson is microorganisms, friend and foe. Okay, so what are microorganisms? Micro means what? Micro means small, minute, very small. So microorganisms means small organisms which we cannot see with our naked eye. We can watch these microorganisms only through a microscope. So microorganisms are the minute organisms which we cannot see with our naked eyes and which can be observed only through a microscope. Such organisms are called microorganisms, or they are also called as microbes. So they are also called as microbes. Okay, and this lesson, microorganisms, friend and foe. Foe means what? Enemy. So in this lesson, we are going to discuss about the uses and harmful effects of microorganisms. So some microorganisms are friend to us, some are enemy to us. Okay, so some are useful for us and some are harmful for us. So we are going to study about the uses of microorganisms and also the harmful effects of microorganisms. Okay, so everywhere there are microorganisms. Microorganisms here on our skin itself, on our body itself, we can see. So around everything, everywhere you can see microorganisms. Some microorganisms are present even inside our body also. So, but we cannot see them. Okay. And in your textbook, there are two activities. That is activity 2.1. Collect some moist soil from the field in a beaker and add water to it. After the soil particles have settled down, observe a drop of water from the beaker under a microscope. What do you see? So this is activity 2.1. So they are telling us to take some moist soil, put it in a beaker of water. Then after that, allow the soil particles to settle down. Then from the top, you take 1 or 2 drops of water and observe it through microscope. So when we observe it through microscope, we can see the microorganisms that are present in the soil. So you can see some of the microorganisms that are present in the soil. So these are the microorganisms that is present in the soil. Okay. Now you look at activity 2.2 in your textbook. What's it? Take a few drops of water from a pond, spread on a glass slide and observe through a microscope. So what is the second activity? You take 1 or 2 drops of water from a pond and observe it through a microscope. So in water also first activity we saw the microorganisms that is present in the soil. In second activity we can see the microorganisms that is present in water. Okay, so here you can see some microorganisms that are present in water. So these are some microorganisms that are present in water. Okay. Or if you keep a piece of bread for few days outside, what happens to it? You can see that the surface of bread is covered with grayish white patches. Can you see that? Have you seen it? Okay. So these are some whitish white patches or grayish patches you can see on this piece of bread. So always after one day and all you can't eat it. Within 2-3 days, you can see surface will be covered with grayish white patches, and we cannot eat it also. Okay, so if we look through this bread piece of bread with this grayish white patches through a magnifying lens, we can see some structures on the surface. Through a magnifying lens, when we look into this grayish or white patches, you can see some structures growing on the bread. These are the structures that grow on the piece of bread, and that is a fungus. Okay, and that fungus that grows on the bread, that is called bread mold or rhizopus. That is a fungus, and its name is bread mold or rhizopus. Okay, so this rhizopus or bread mold, that we can see through a magnifying lens, but we can't see other microorganisms through magnifying lens. We can see other microorganisms only through a microscope. Okay, and these microorganisms, different types of microorganisms are around us, and all the different types of microorganisms are classified into 4 major groups, and the 4 groups are bacteria, second group is fungi, then third group is protozoa, and fourth group is algae. Okay, so these are the 4 groups. So microorganisms are classified into 4 groups: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. So first we can study about bacteria. Okay, so these bacteria are unicellular. Unicellular means what? Only one cell. So single-celled organisms. So they are single-celled or unicellular organisms. And they are usually found in colonies. Colonies means in a group. They live in a group. And they live everywhere. We can see bacteria everywhere. And they have various shapes also. Some are round shape, some have a rod shape, some have a spiral shape. So they have various shapes also. You look at these pictures of bacteria, you can see round shaped bacteria and bacteria with some other shapes also. And example, Rhodobacteria, E. coli. E. coli is a bacteria that is usually found in our intestine. Okay. Then this bacteria is found everywhere on earth. We can see whether it is very cold, they can survive there. In very hot areas also we can see bacteria, they can survive there also. So we can see bacteria everywhere on the earth. And in human body also there are so many bacteria. And human beings can't live without bacteria. There are bacteria all over our skin, hair, and even inside our body also. But only few of them are dangerous. Most of them are not dangerous. Only few bacteria are dangerous. And we could not survive without bacteria. They act as part of our immune system and help in digestion also. Okay. So first group is bacteria. They are unicellular. Most of them live in colonies and have different shapes. Example, Rhodobacteria or rod-shaped bacteria, spiral-shaped bacteria, E. coli. E. coli, that is one bacteria that we can see in our intestine. Okay, and which is the second group? The second group is fungi. So second group is fungi. And these fungi, usually they look like plants, but they don't have chlorophyll. So bread mold, you saw the picture of bread mold. That also looked like a plant. You saw some thread-like structure and round structures like this. So they look like some plants, but they are not green in color or they don't have chlorophyll. That means they cannot prepare food by themselves. And last year you have studied fungus, yeast, bread mold, all these you have studied. They are saprotrophs. You remember now? Saprotroph means what? Those who take food from dead and decaying matters. So these fungi, organisms that come under the group fungi. Singular is fungus. So fungus, they are saprotrophs. So they too take food from or collect food from dead and decaying matters. And you have studied yeast is one example. Yeast is a unicellular organism and you can see it is a powder-like substance that we usually use for cooking food items. Okay, so you can see the picture of yeast. So that we usually use for preparing our food items. Then mushroom. Mushroom is also another example for fungus. And you know there are different types of mushrooms. All these mushrooms come under the group of fungi. Okay, then bread mold is also an example for fungi. Okay, so what all things you study? Fungi, organisms, they look like plants but they lack chlorophyll and they are saprotrophs. Example, yeast, mushroom, bread mold, etc. Okay. Then the next group is protozoa. So the third group is protozoa. And these protozoans, they are also microorganisms and they are mostly aquatic. Aquatic means they are mostly living in water. So most of the protozoans are living in water. And they are heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means they cannot prepare food by themselves. They depend on others for their food. And do you know the disease malaria? That is caused by, you have studied that is carried by mosquitoes. And these mosquitoes are carrying the microorganisms who causes the disease. And the microorganism that causes malaria is a protozoa called Plasmodium vivax. Plasmodium vivax. Okay, so this is caused by a protozoa. And this protozoa is carried by mosquito. Okay. And two familiar protozoans are amoeba and paramecium. Right? Amoeba and paramecium are familiar with amoeba and paramecium, no? So, amoeba. You have studied last year. That is a unicellular organism. It have false food called pseudopodium and all that all you have studied. So this amoeba is an example for a protozoa. Okay. Then another example is paramecium. And this paramecium is also a unicellular organism. Okay. So the next group is algae. Okay, so the fourth group is algae. And they are colonial. Colonial means they are living in a colony or living in a group. And filamentous. Filamentous means they are hair-like or thread-like structures. They don't have leaf or root structures like that. So most of them are filamentous or hair-like structures. Or especially in rainy season, you can see a green layer of something on top of water and all. And that is algae. So in this picture, you can see some green structures. That is algae. Okay. Then example is Spirogyra is one example. And Spirogyra is also, when we look in pond and all, we can see green filamentous structures. And this, when we look this through microscope, we can see it like this. Then another example is Chlamydomonas. So another example for algae is Chlamydomonas. Okay, and this Spirogyra and all, that is multicellular. We can see them through with our naked eye itself. They are multicellular. Okay, so what are microorganisms? Microorganisms are the minute organisms that we can see through a microscope, and they are mainly classified into 4 major groups: bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae. Here fungi also mushroom, all this we can see with our naked eye. Algae also, most of the algae also we can see with our naked eye. But bacteria, protozoans and all, most of them are minute microorganisms also. Okay, so the 4 major groups are bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoa. So we can study it in detail in next class about their uses and harmful effects, or which all diseases are caused by these microorganisms. Okay, bye.